What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end so you can hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. As parents, no matter your situation, what environment we live in, we all want the best for our kids. Even if y'all live in the trenches, you want to give them the same life as a kid growing up in suburban America. But we all know sometimes that can be hard. You can instill everything good in your child, get them the game, but once they leave home and go outside, what they hear or see also has just as much influence on their mind as you do. And nowadays, it's a whole nother level to that, the internet. So even if you keep your child sheltered, busy in activities, they can still look online on their phones and see what other kids are doing all over the world. While we always look at our kids as our babies, around about a certain age, others don't view them as babies at all, especially for boys. We all know it's a culture going on in our community that got people on edge, the YN culture, which people stereotype a certain percentage of black youth that might dress a certain kind of way and carry themselves a certain way and view them as a threat instead of regular kids or teens. And even if you come from a certain environment and you all used to kids carrying themselves like that, their appearance and energy still has a certain stigma to it. You can be from the worst neighborhood in America, but more than likely, if you pull up to a gas station on a late night tip and see a group of teens with shiesties on their face and their hands and their hoodies, you probably will not even chance it and drive off. And unfortunately, that's a reality when you are young. Just trying to be cool and fit in. You don't understand. And while some kids get a chance to live, learn, and grow from certain things, others don't. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., to discuss the case of a man who thought a 13-year-old was trying to rob him, so he took matters into his own hands. Back in 2023, Karon Blake was a 13-year-old boy navigating life in D.C., making the transition from preteen to teen just months prior in October. Karon was described by many as outgoing, a young man who loved his family, school, and like many his age, hanging out with friends. His mother was trying her best to raise him right, fighting against the street culture in a tough city like D.C., where teens jump off the porch early. Only in middle school, Karon tried to stay busy and focused, but like many his age, outside and the older kids had a lot of influence on him. Fresh into the new year, January 6, 2023, Karon would go out and hang with friends. As the young men rode around, some say they were doing things they had no business doing, breaking into cars. As it got late into the night, into the early morning hours of January 7th, they ended up sliding in a 1000 block of Quincy Street in Northeast DC. The teens were checking car doors and some residents claimed to hear glass shatter. It was after 3 a.m. One man got up, grabbed his registered firearm, and went outside. Seconds later, 2 shots went off, and DC police were called to the scene. When they responded to the location, they found Karon suffering from gunshot wounds. He was rushed to a local hospital, but unfortunately, he wouldn't survive his injuries. As police started an investigation, they had to deliver the heartbreaking news to his family, who wanted answers. But police at first wouldn't release any information about the incident or a suspect. Being that Karon was only 13, the community went into an uproar and wanted answers and justice. But police were conducting a thorough investigation, and the suspect was claiming self-defense. As they got footage from cameras on homes in the neighborhood, it showed a few teens tampering with car doors. A man emerged from his home, weapon in hand, confronting the teens before shooting Karon. The suspect at first told police he thought someone was trying to break into his home as he heard glass shatter. He grabbed his gun. He stated when he came out, some of the teens ran back to the car. He claimed they then shot at him. He said he then saw one of the teens running towards him. He stated he thought he had a weapon, so he shot. That teen was Karon. But as police looked harder into the video and also spoke to residents, some only reported hearing 2 gunshots go off, coming from one gun. And in the video, Karon could be heard saying, "Please don't. I'm just a teen. Don't shoot." Police determined it might not be just a clear case of self-defense, but a homicide case. The suspect's name was then released. He was at the time 42-year-old Jason Lewis, a government employee who ironically had been working with the youth in DC's Parks and Recreation Division. He was also a father himself and also a husband as he was married. As the truth of the incident came out, it was mixed feelings from the public. With it now being a fact, Karon and his peers were breaking into cars, but they didn't fire a shot in the confrontation, and there was no evidence neither of them had a gun. It seemed Jason had taken the law into his own hands. After admitting he heard about previous break-ins in the area and was trying to protect his family, he didn't know the young men were just teens. Karon's family was furious, and his grandfather spoke out, saying if he was doing wrong, Jason should have just called the police, not play Superman and react to himself. The teen's mother also spoke out about her pain, losing a child who she said despite what people were saying, she fought hard to raise right and stayed on him about staying out of trouble and out the streets. She stated he was the man of the house, the one who helped her out when she needed it. Now he was gone. A vigil was held for the young man, and the community wanted justice as a lot of people were hurt. But it was still up in the air what Jason would be charged with. As he went in front of a judge, he was charged with second-degree hit, but he stayed on the streets to fight the case. A lot of people felt he was a coward and he deserved the max punishment. As the case made its way to court, Karon's family filled the courtroom, all pleading for justice. But it wouldn't be open and shut. It seemed Jason's wife, who was supposed to take the stand as a witness and testify, stating how many shots she heard, which would determine if her husband was shooting back in self-defense. But she was MIA. She had disappeared, and nobody knew where she was at. Karon's family members took the stand, not defending the teen's actions, but pointing to the fact Jason didn't even attempt to investigate the situation. Instead, he came out shooting. Jason took the stand in his own defense. He spoke on how he spent years of his life helping and uplifting the youth in DC, but now he felt it was all in vain. He stated he just was trying to protect his own family, and when he saw Karon running towards him, he didn't know he was only 13. He stated he was in shock after the fact. He also wrote a letter to the judge. In the letter, he was apologizing for his actions, showing he was also a father himself, and he didn't just wake up trying to take a life or hurt a family. He also apologized to Karon and his family as well. The judge did agree Jason was in the wrong for taking the law into his own hands, but also understood he was trying to protect his family and that the teens were outside breaking the law. In the end, the second-degree hit charge was dropped, but he was found guilty on a lesser charge of manslaughter, and he was sentenced to 12.5 years in prison. He wanted to get his affairs in order, as his attorney felt he wasn't a flight risk, but Jason was taken into custody right on the spot. Him and his attorney requested he be housed in PC, or protective custody, out of fear for his safety, with the case being so high profile. But the judge stated they had no control over that. The family didn't believe the sentence was enough, but they were happy they got some kind of closure and justice. Rest in peace to Karon. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. 13 is too young to lose your life in such a tragic matter. But a lot of people felt Shorty should have been home in his bed. His mother admitted he was growing up too fast. No matter how hard she tried, he was falling into what a lot of young boys do, the peer pressure of his environment. Jason's stance had a lot of people feeling 50-50. Some understood it was a crime problem in DC, and all men's job is to protect their homes and family. But some felt he should have never left his home if the trouble wasn't at his front door. especially not with a gun or just call the police. But I want to know y'all thoughts about this situation, fam. Do you think Jason could have went about this another way, or do you think his actions were justified? Let me know in the comments. And remember, we got to succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, it's a terrible story. Rest in peace to Karon. I definitely send my prayers to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's another episode of Hood Tales. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.